Okay, so here we are. We're in Genesis 42, and in the last chapter in 41, Joseph had interpreted Pharaoh's dreams, and he instructed Pharaoh that there was going to be a famine, but first we were going to have 7 prosperous years. So Joseph went out throughout Egypt and to all the cities, and they started storing up food. And then the famine came, and people were going to Egypt because they knew that Egypt had food in storage. And so in 42, this is the New King James Version, we're going to start. When Jacob saw that there was grain in Egypt, Jacob said to his sons, "Why do you look at one another?" Then he said, "Indeed, I have heard that there is grain in Egypt. Go down to that place and buy for us there, that we may live and not die." So Joseph's 10 brothers went down to buy grain in Egypt. But Jacob did not send Joseph's brother Benjamin with his brothers, for he said, lest some calamity befall him. And the sons of Israel went to buy grain among those who journeyed, for the famine was in the land of Canaan. Now Joseph was governor over all the land, and it was he who sold to all the people of the land. And Joseph's brothers came and bowed down before him with their faces to the earth. Joseph saw his brothers and recognized them, but he acted as a stranger to them and spoke roughly to them. Then he said to them, "Where do you come from?" And they said, "From the land of Canaan, to buy food." So Joseph recognized his brothers, but they did not recognize him. And then Joseph remembered the dreams when he had dreamed about them, and said to them, "You are spies. You have come to seek the nakedness of the land." And then they said to him, "No, my lord, but your servants have come to buy food. We are all one man's son, and we are honest men. Your servants are not spies." They're not really honest men either. But he said to them, "No, but you have come to see the nakedness of the land." So he's saying, And they said, "Your servants are 12 brothers, the son of one man in the land of Canaan. And in fact, the youngest is with our father today, and one is no more." How about that? But Joseph said to them, "It is as I spoke to you, saying, you are spies. In this manner you shall be tested. By the life of Pharaoh, you shall not leave this place unless your youngest brother comes here. Send one of you and let him bring your brother, and you shall be kept in prison, that your words may be tested to see whether there is any truth in you, or else by the life of Pharaoh, surely you are spies." So he put them all together in prison 3 days. Then Joseph said to them on the 3rd day, Do this and live, for I fear God. If you are honest men, let one of your brothers be confined to your prison house, but you go and carry grain for the famine to your house, and bring your youngest brother to me, so your words will be verified, and you will not die. And they did so. And they said to one another, "We are truly guilty concerning our brother, for we saw the anguish of his soul when he pleaded with us, and we would not hear. Therefore this distress has come upon us." So they're starting to have some guilty feelings. They're thinking about Joseph and what they did to him, and thinking that, they're having these problems because they betrayed their brother. They threw him in the pit and sold him to slavery, and they still haven't figured out that Joseph is Joseph yet. Okay, and then Reuben answered them, saying, "I did not speak to you, saying, do not sin against this boy. Did I not speak to you, do not sin against the boy, and you would not listen? Therefore, behold, his blood is now required of us." But they did not know that Joseph understood them, for he spoke to them through an interpreter. And he turned himself away from them and wept. Then he returned to them again and talked with them, and he took Simeon from them and bound him before their eyes. So he realizes that they're feeling their guilt now, and they don't realize that he's speaking Egypt and they're speaking Hebrew, I'm assuming, and they don't know that he understands what they're saying, because he had an interpreter there. But he was who was being a spy, by the way? He's spying on them. Just saying. Anyway, so in verse 25, when Joseph gave a command to fill their sacks with grain, to restore every man's money to his sack, and to give them provisions for their journey, thus he did for them. So they loaded their donkeys with the grain and departed from there. You know what? This takes a lot of trust. He's tested him. Now, granted, he's kept one of the brothers, but he's sent the other ones back for them to go get Benjamin. But in the meanwhile, he gave them a bunch of grain for food, and he gave them their money back. So he gave them free food. Okay? But as one of them opened the sack to give his donkey feed at the encampment, he saw his money, and there it was in the mouth of his sack. So he said to his brothers, "My money has been restored, and there it is in my sack." And their hearts failed them, and they were afraid, saying to one another, what is it that God has done to us? So they're worried. They're worried that they're going to be accused of theft, okay? And they went to Jacob their father in the land of Canaan and told him all that happened to them, saying, the man who is Lord of the land spoke roughly to us and took us for spies of the country. But we said to them, we are honest men, we are not spies. We are 12 brothers, sons of our father. One is no more, and the youngest is with our father this day in the land of Canaan. And the man, the Lord of the country, said to us, by this I will know that you are honest men. Leave one of your brothers here with me. Take food for the famine of your households, and be gone, and bring your youngest brother to me, so I shall know that you are not spies, that you are honest men. I will grant your brother to you, and you may trade in the land. Then it happens as they emptied those sacks that surprisingly each man's bundle of money was in their sack. And when they and their father saw the bundles of money, they were afraid. And Jacob, their father, said to them, you have bereaved me. Joseph is no more. Simeon is no more. And you want to take Benjamin. All these things are against me. See, he's worried that he'll never see Simeon again. And if they take Benjamin, they'll never see him again. And he's already lost Joseph. Then Reuben spoke to his father, saying, kill my 2 sons if I do not bring them back to you. Put them in my hands, and I will bring them back to you. So Reuben's the one, I guess, who has some kind of common sense. He wanted to go back and rescue Joseph when he was in the pit, but they sold him to the Ishmaelites before he could get back. And he was the one who called the brothers out, saying, this isn't what I wanted to do when you guys did this to Joseph. And now he's saying to his father, look, I'm going to be honest. Take my sons. I will stand behind my word. I'll take responsibility for all this. You take my 2 sons, and I'm going to bring Simeon back to you, and Benjamin. But he said, my son shall not go down with you, for his brother is dead, and he is left alone. If any calamity should befall him in the way in which you go, then you would bring down my gray hair with sorrow to the grave. So he's ready to go. He wants to save his brother. And I think Benjamin might be carrying a little bit of guilt too, because he wasn't able to save Joseph. But I think he's trying to step up and be a good brother and a good son.